Good evening, I'm Eugene Chan and welcome to Straight Talk. Our guest is Carl Devlin, the Capital Works Director of MTR Corporation Hong Kong. Since joining MTR in 2021, Mr. Devlin has led major railway extensions and operations projects, drawing on decades of experience in large-scale infrastructure across the UK, New Zealand, Australia, the US, Canada and Japan. A seasoned project leader and fellow of the Hong Kong Institution of Engineers, Carl has held senior roles in transport, energy and construction worldwide. We are going to be talking about some of MTR's new projects and how they are going to keep Hong Kong on track for the future. Welcome, Carl. Carl, you know, MTR is ranked amongst the best rail operators in the world, and Hong Kong was recently ranked #1 out of 50 cities in the world for public transport in the Time Out survey, with an impressive 98% of satisfaction rate amongst our locals. And of course, the successes is mainly due to the MTR safety, the convenience and the reliability. So what's the secret of the success?
It goes without saying that maintaining reliable and safe railway services is MTR's first and utmost priority, and the minimum expectation of the public here in Hong Kong. We consistently maintain daily operations on all railway lines and deliver an on-time performance of 99.9%. This reliability rate in itself could set ourselves amongst one of the leading rail operators in the world. But we know that this on its own is insufficient. Running a railway safely, reliably and efficiently is the minimum that we should do. Creating value for the communities that the railway extends into and unleashing the potential for the areas that the railways are being built, new railways being built, is really what we see a pivotal role of the corporation. And the opportunity to grow the network for Hong Kong and is really what we're all about.
Carl, you know, with such a good global recognition, it is clear that MTR plays a very central role in Hong Kong's city daily life. So maybe you can explain to viewers how important, in your view, are the railway system to Hong Kong and Hong Kong people?
Well, the corporation has just celebrated its 45th anniversary last year. Since MTR commissioned its first railway line in 1979, the railway network has continued to expand. Currently, the corporation operates 9 heavy rail lines and 99 stations, covering Hong Kong Island, Kowloon and the New Territories. We're building, operating and maintaining one of the most complex public transport systems in the world. It handles over 5 million passenger trips daily, and this comprises over 40% of the Hong Kong's public transportation patronage.
Wow, so it's quite a major part of Hong Kong is really on MTR, isn't it?
It's the heartbeat of Hong Kong.
Right. So how well would you say that MTR is performing today? I mean, I know that the local people are very impressive with 98% satisfaction. How well do you think are you performing, or can you do better?
I think we can always do better, and the public in Hong Kong always expect us to do better. But having worked and lived in other parts of the world, the public transport system here in Hong Kong is truly world class.
Carl, I know that I've read your background. You have worked in different cities, and people in Hong Kong often is among usual demanding. We have high expectation. I mean, they want the MTR to arrive on time. They want to wait for too long. Can other cities in the world do as good as Hong Kong in that sense?
Hong Kong, I think, has, based on my experience around the world, one of the best public transport systems in the world. The interconnectivity, connecting from one line to another, is seamless. The wait time for between one train and the next is extremely short. I think Hong Kong people have grown up with the MTR network and have taken this very high exceptional performance as the norm.
As you said, MTR has been there for like 45 years, and we have seen more stations built over the years, and I know that there have been 2 major railway lines just been finished not that long ago. But then, since you're the Capital Works Director, I know that you've got a lot of plans for Hong Kong. So maybe you can share with the viewers what are the most recent lines that were built, just to refresh the memory, and what are your plans and why are such plans?
So in 2021, MTR opened the Chun Ma line, which has rejuvenated older parts of Hong Kong, like Chung Kwan and Kowloon City, with direct rail connections to East and West Kowloon and East and West New Territories. Then in 2022, the East Rail Line was extended across the harbour, directly connecting Admiralty, which is the financial hub of the city, across this 100-year-old railway. This railway extension also extends directly from the cross boundary into the city centre, greatly increasing the flow of people between Hong Kong and Shenzhen.
Yeah, so those are the two lines that's been built. What are your plans coming up in the next 10 years?
Coming up, so construction works on several new railway projects have started progressively since mid-2023. The Chung Chung line extension and the Tung Chung and the Chun Mun South extension projects will extend the current Tung Chung line and Chun Ma line respectively, connecting with existing communities. Kutong Station, which is going to be between Lok Ma Chau and Sheng Shui on the East Rail Line, and the Hung Shou Kiu Station between Tin Shui Wai and Su Hong stations on the Chun Ma line, are two firsts for us here in MTR, because it's the first time where we're building new stations between existing stations on the network, and also the first time where we're building atop existing operating railways and on existing railway viaducts. We're also going to be adding the Oyster Bay Station between Sunny Bay Station and the Tung Chung Station on the Tung Chung line. And just last month, we agreed signed a project agreement with government to start works on the Northern Link main line and to start the detailed design and planning for the Northern Link spur line, which is a cross-boundary railway.
Right. So, Carl, you have listed out different lines that have been building from 2027 up to 2034. I mean, those are the new lines coming up. So how do you see this coincide with the development of Hong Kong? How important are these new stations?
So these new railway projects are developed to support the government's infrastructure plans, which are critical to the long-term development of Hong Kong. These extension projects will provide direct rail connection to some existing communities like the Tung Chung West and Chun Mun South, and put them on the comprehensive railway network with a much enhanced connectivity with different parts of Hong Kong. The new station projects, on the other hand, have been strategically located to serve new development areas, which are planned or already under development. More importantly, Hung Shou Kiu Station and Santin Station under the Northern Link will later provide interchange stations with cross-boundary railways like the Northern Link spur line and Hung Shou Kiu to Quinai Railway, as well as serving local development areas. So they're really critical to the long-term development of Hong Kong.
Right, Carl, you know, the actual Northern Link has drawn a lot of attention from the public, and we all know that that's the new area of development for Hong Kong's future. The Director of Railways actually said earlier that mainland standards will be introduced in the Northern Link, and hopefully will sort of reduce the cost and the time. And can you elaborate how this can be achieved?
So, first of all, let me just maybe explain a little bit about the Northern Link. So the Northern Link will comprise of Kutong Station on East Rail Line, the main line and the spur line. It will connect the East Rail Line with the Chun Ma line, creating a loop and forming the backbone for the mass transport system in the Northern Metropolis area. The Northern Link itself will provide substantial transport capacity and contribute to catalysing large-scale housing developments, commercial and community projects, supporting the Hong Kong government's vision for the Northern Metropolis. And it will be a key driver in Hong Kong's strategic growth, creating jobs and urban development. In terms of the project itself, the mainline and spur line will involve constructing 8 new stations. 2 of them will be terminal and interchange stations. There's also an additional interchange station which will be a cross-boundary interchange station, as well as approximately 17 kilometres of railway tunnels, making it one of the largest scale project amongst the projects we're currently undertaking. Mm-hmm. In terms of how can we drive these projects forward, the spur line, through the holistic approach that we're taking to the Northern Link in conjunction with the government, will be delivered approximately 2 years earlier as a holistic project than if we delivered them separately. In addition, there are a number of synergies that we achieve through constructing the projects as one project rather than two. There are a number of facilities that we can optimise the design for, optimise the rail sections where the lines come together. In addition, by building this project holistically, there are sections of the spur line and main line that can be constructed together, thereby minimising the amount of work we would have to do in the restrictive non-traffic hours, which would then prolong the project.
Okay, time for a short break now, and we will be back with more Straight Talk. Carl Devlin, the Capital Works Director of MTR Corporation, is with us. And we have been talking about our railway networks and how we can ensure Hong Kong's railway remain world-class well into the future. So Carl, thank you very much for telling us all the works that you have planned for the next 10 years and is going to serve the purpose of Hong Kong's development. One area that we didn't get around to asking you to get some answer from you is that the director of highways actually said that we want to do things with more of a mainland standards. That is, hopefully we could save some cost and time. So how are we going to actually achieve that?
So the corporation has got extensive experience of working with standards across many jurisdictions around the world. And we fully support the government's dual innovations in policy and technologies, and will be using both local, mainland and overseas technologies in taking the project forward. This, combined with the use of innovation and technology, will help us drive cost and time efficiencies as we take the project forward.
As you know, the Hong Kong project team comprises mainly of Hong Kong engineers. How are they going to adapt to this new mainland standards?
So mainland standards, the mainland national standard is actually an international standard, and the Hong Kong standards are also international standards. So we have extensive use of working with different standards in different jurisdictions. So we will work very closely with government to work through the initiatives that we'll take forward that will substantially help us drive cost and time efficiencies.
Right. I mean, as I brought out earlier in part one, I said Hong Kong people are, I won't use the word demanding, they have high expectation of things to happen. And I saw that some of the projects that you have are within the next 10 years. And people are a little bit impatient to wait for projects to come, even in 3 to 5 years. So are there anything that under your directive that you'll be able to sort of make the project sort of finish earlier?
So one of the key initiatives that we've deployed to drive the projects forward is the use of innovation and technology. We have deployed digital technologies extensively on the new projects, and we're utilising building information modelling to coordinate the civil, architectural, electrical and mechanical disciplines of the projects in terms of our planning all the way through from the design stage through to construction. The use of technologies like this allows us explore advanced innovations through the use of design for manufacturing assembly or modular integrated construction, which is effectively the use of precast, pre-made, prefabricated elements, components, modules, where effectively we build things in a factory, we transport them to site, and then we assemble them like you would do if you were assembling some Lego. So, for example, on the Kutong Station project, which is a very complex project, as I said earlier, we are constructing this on top of the operational East Rail line. We have made significant advances in driving the structural completion of the project by using this kind of initiative. And compared to traditional in situ works, it is substantially faster. It's also safer and drives quality and efficiency within the project.
Right. For how many years have you sort of adopted this new sort of modular, sort of pre-built unit into the
We are
system?
driving this progressively as the projects progress. So as we get deeper into these new projects, we're using it more and more. So for example, on the Hung Shui Q project, we are looking to achieve 80% of the project to be manufactured off-site.
Right. So that means it'll be a lot quicker, a lot more reliable. How about cost-wise? Will this increase the cost?
There are some increased costs in using design for manufacturing assembly, but when you look at it from a holistic point of view, it drives a faster completion of the project, so overall the project will be more cost efficient.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the Northern Link that you explained to us earlier. We know that it's going to take some time because it's a huge area, and then you have a lot of challenges to sort of tackle. What will be the major challenges that you think from the rail point of view? What are your main obstacles of getting it done right away?
It is, as you said, a substantially large and complex project. It comprises constructing 8 stations, as I said earlier. 2 of them are interchange stations, which means that the new stations have to be built alongside the existing stations on the operation. There are about 17 kilometres of railway tunnels. So it's a very large and complex construction undertaking. It's clearly the demand from Hong Kong public for us to construct these railways faster. It means that we need to look for more innovative ways of coming up with ways to reduce the time even further. The complexity at both ends of interchanging with the existing railway. There is a cross-boundary railway that we have to build as part of it. The spur line crosses the boundary and extends to Hong Kong Port. So we've got to work in 2 different jurisdictions, both in mainland China as well as in Hong Kong. And ultimately, we've got to integrate a seamless railway and that operates in the same way that every other railway in Hong Kong currently operates.
Right. So apart from sort of innovation and technology sort of initiatives, you also have looked at different ways. So I'm sure you're continuously looking to improve and to speed up things. Do we have enough manpower? Do we have enough workers in Hong Kong to support your work?
So construction labour is a topic that's been quite lively in the industry over the last few years. The workforce in Hong Kong is ageing, but one of the ways of addressing this and making sure that we have sufficient labour is by using innovation and technology and things like design for manufacturing assembly. We're actually utilising resources in factories in mainland China to manufacture large parts of the projects, and then we bring them to Hong Kong to assemble. So by using digital innovation, technology, new techniques, we can overall reduce the amount of manpower that we will require going forward compared to how we would have built this project maybe 20 years ago. Right,
but do we have enough workers to do it, despite all the innovation technology?
So if there's government in Hong Kong have an import labour scheme to bring in labour from mainland China, should we require specialist labour that we don't have here in Hong Kong. So far on our new railway extension projects, we've broadly been able to construct them using the local labour.
Right. All right, so we have talked about the next 10 years, and before the show, I asked this question. Will MTR continue to develop after 10 years? And you told me that there are other projects. So maybe you can let the viewers have a taste of what will happen, see if things go well, beyond next 10 years. Where will we see MTR in every corner of Hong Kong or only in certain parts? So
the Hong Kong government leads the transport planning here in Hong Kong. And MTR uses its experience and expertise gained over the last 45 years to support the Hong Kong government as they plan the projects. The Hong Kong government have a long-term blueprint, transportation blueprint, where there are many other projects that are currently under planning. At MTR, we are closely monitoring this and providing the necessary support to the government. These projects are both medium capacity railways, smart and green mass transit projects like Kai Tak, East Kowloon, and also heavy rail projects like the Central Kowloon Railway that government are currently considering.
I think more than once in our show today I've mentioned that public expectations are always rising. I mean, we know that that's also a strength of Hong Kong, that we always can do better to meet the expectations. So how confident are you to say that MTR is going to meet all those projects in the next 10 years?
So, as I said earlier, we have many projects already under construction. Quite a few of the projects have already entered the peak period of the construction. Kutong Station is targeted to complete in 2027. This will be the first of the stations to be commissioned under the new projects. We will follow that by with the Tung Chung projects, where they're expected to open to the public in 2029. In 2030, Hung Shui Q Station, the Chunman South Extension and the Oyster Bay Station are expected to open for passenger service. So in the next 3 to 5 years, we will be we're targeting to complete 5 of the projects. Then the Northern Link itself, by bringing it together, we are going to start the work in phases, and the plan is to simultaneously commission both the main line and the spur line no later than 2034.
So, I mean, looks like Hong Kong people can look forward to more new lines and actually even more being planned and developed. So maybe the last question I'm going to ask you today is, looking ahead, I mean, you being the Capital Works Director, what are your visions for Hong Kong's railways?
Our vision is to really take these new railways to go beyond boundaries. It is about connecting as many communities as we can into the network, to give the communities and the people of Hong Kong the greatest possible connection to what is the greatest public transport system in the world.
Yeah, Carl, I think we have to leave it there for now, and thank you, Mr. Devlin, for giving us a glimpse of how our railways are essential in helping Hong Kong to stay on track. The MTR has always stood for reliability and world-class service, but its role is also about shaping Hong Kong's future, building communities, boosting connectivity, and above all, living up to its mission to keep cities moving. Thank you for joining us on Straight Talk, and have a good evening.